Good evening, folks. How's everybody doing? All right, we got a phenomenal event tonight. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun. So, how are you, sir? Hi.
Hey, hold on. 2 minutes. We gotta get a hug in first because I haven't seen my.
We like our family.
We're late. Sorry.
No worries. I appreciate you guys coming. Before we get started, for those of you who don't know me, my name is William Mahood. You probably know I have no relation to the author. I'm kidding. She's my mom, for those of you who don't know. So it's a pleasure to be here tonight. Before we get started with anything, I'd like to just clean up some housekeeping things I do have to mention. For those of you who have not seen it already, there's an invitation right by the front door with a portrait there. Jay has asked that everybody sign it, so that would be very appreciated. You don't have to right now. No time like the present, but whatever. So please do that before you go. If you haven't already gotten the book, it is available on Amazon.ca. But if you get it online, you're not going to get the gift pack. .com? Oh, I thought it was .ca. Also on sensorymedia.ca and available on Amazon. Okay. If you get it online, though, you won't be getting the gift pack. So that's what we put together for tonight. In the pack, you're going to get some goodies along with the book. So if you haven't got that, please do. And there's a token that comes with it with a number. We're putting all the token numbers into a draw, and you're going to win a cooler bag. The cooler bag has a brunch for two here at Glen Abbey, which I can assure you is wonderfully excessive. You won't eat for 2 days, but it's great. You'll get, I think it was wine, a beach towel, and a teddy bear that says be inspired. So not things you're going to use all in the same day, but they're all great.
You never know.
You never know. Could be one heck of a day.
Mark and I could do it all in one day.
And I should mention the fun part of the evening, which is the drink tickets. We did have drink tickets. If you got it, then good. If I think we have a couple extra that we may, if we do give them out, it'll be to the most fun applicants, so get creative with that. And so be sure to get that. We wanted to include alcohol. We thought that would be more exciting. It's always more eventful. Before we get started, I do want to recognize a couple people here. First off is obviously the family that came out. I don't know all the family, but flail your hands. There we go. Yeah. Jay is also part of the Women's Presidents Organization, the WPO. So I think there's a couple ladies here from the WPO if you want to wave your hands like you just don't care. There we go. Awesome. And obviously Jay's community is global, which is amazing. The downside is I know we're missing people today. So we do want to say a big hello to all our friends in Bermuda. Hello, Bermuda. Gabriella waves back. Hello.
I'm in Bermuda.
And a big thank you to Cognition Productions, who are the men behind the camera here, who should be recognized. Obviously, a huge thanks to Glen Abbey. I don't know if we'd get a much better setting than this. So the beautiful views. I know Kelly is here and the whole staff that's taking care of us so well. So thank you so much. And have I missed anybody? Is that You're looking good? Perfect. Okay. So we have some really terrific speakers that we're going to bring up tonight to be able to share their story, their relations to Jay and the book, and all their experiences. And then we're going to get the author herself to come say a few words, and then we'll do a toast to wrap up the evening. So before we get into all that, I thought it would be only appropriate for the star of the evening to say a few words. So here I go.
Have to speak for a second.
Could have been anyone, eh? Well, I've, as you guys can imagine, I've had the privilege of knowing Jay for a good half of my life. And don't get me wrong, she's my mom. We grew up together, but who really pays attention before the age of 10? And that's not just me, is it? Can anyone relate? Is that a kid thing? No one else puts up their hand? Okay. In all seriousness, I have gotten to see my mom and her involvement in this industry for the majority of my life, and I say majority quite literally. My first event was the Ontario chapter meeting that I got to go to, and Jay, of course, was at the head table, and she thought I should go under the head table, I guess in case I was a distraction or if I would speak out of turn, but understandably so. I was only 10, and I should clarify, I wasn't 10 years old, I was 10 days, so that was my first experience. For the first 9 days of my life, I really didn't understand this industry, but the plus side was within 2 weeks of being born, I knew what my mom did for a living, and that was really cool. So ever since then, we got to go to a bunch of trade shows, meetings, conventions around Ontario, Montreal. We went to Vancouver, Bermuda, Florida, Las Vegas, California, and beyond. And it's kind of funny looking back on it all now because they used to just be, trips with mom. And it's funny growing up close to excellence, because sometimes you can take it for granted or dismiss it as the norm instead of appreciating it or admiring it. And looking back on it, what seemed to be normal was crazy, being at some of the biggest events, at dinner tables with the past chairs and the executives, and conversing with the biggest figures in the industry, that I realized it was anything but normal. But while Jae's success isn't normal, I think it shouldn't come as any surprise. And when one governs themselves by the type of values that she has, I think an abundance of success is inevitable. And I wanted to take a moment just to touch on a couple of those values that I think you would all agree have been integral to her success. And the first of those is passion, is her pride in what she does and how she does it. When I was a kid, Jae told me I didn't have to love every subject or be good at everything in school, but rather that I should pay attention to what I liked. And if I found something that I enjoyed, then I should have fun and immerse myself in that, which was great advice. I still live to that. And I find it funny that with Jae, it's never enough for her project just to be good or all right. She doesn't like hearing, "it'll do." Everything has to be top-notch, whether it's personal service, her speaking, coaching, even her breakfasts are out of this world. Everything has to be just above and beyond. And I think being able to, always be able to find what you're passionate about and pursue that. As the saying goes, working hard for something you don't like is called stress, but working hard for something you do like is called passion. The second of the qualities was balance. And not literally, like I get it, this is great. As a professional figure skater, we get it. But I mean figuratively, balance in life. When I was a kid, my mom worked very closely with Bob Proctor, who's a world-renowned success coach. He also wrote the foreword in this book. And they were launching her speaking career to the point where her income was seeing a good augmentation, and it got to the point where she was traveling around North America doing engagements. And while it seemed so flawless, it seemed like a great offer, and it seemed like the dream job, she halted it all. She brought her business back home and started speaking only locally. And it wasn't because the offer wasn't promising, because it was, but it was because she knew if she went on the same path, she wasn't going to be around while I grew up. And I always remembered that, because it astounded me, looking back on it now, how when we did all these trips and she worked all these hours, she was still able to be at home and pick me up from school and cook dinner and be a mom. She kind of reminded me that that money is always there. You can get money back, but time you cannot. She always assured me that she wanted to assure a positive personal life and good relationships, and didn't want to sacrifice it at the expense of a positive bottom line. So I appreciate that. And the last of the qualities was the 2 G's, generosity and gratitude. Bless you. Yeah, health. Generosity, gratitude, and gesundheit. Well, obviously, I'm not making up the generosity part. My mom founded and is now chair of the Industry Scholarship Program, which helps business students pay for their tuition fees. She sits on multiple committees in Oakville and won last year's Humanitarian Award in the industry. So I'm not making that up. But it all stems from gratitude. I mean, everyone who knows Jae knows that she's often generous to a fault. She tries to take care of everyone else before she even takes a look at herself. And I know when she was writing the book and put this launch together, she was inviting everyone out, and she was so emotionally attached to everyone showing up, and I didn't know why, because the book was already put out, and if people can't show up, it's okay. They're still going to get the book, and they can read it. And she said the point was not to write the book and for my own recognition or fame. She said I already know what's in the book. I can write it. It's not for me. But she said I've seen what it's done for me. She's seen what everything in the book had done for her life, both personally and professionally. And she wanted others to be able to experience the same results in their life. And that was the point of the book. That was the point of the launch. And that's my mom. So it all stems from gratitude. I mean, we're grateful for the smallest of things, and that's what I think, teaches people every single day. The things that we take for granted or get annoyed by on a daily basis are the same things that people on the other side of the world are praying for. And as we always say, when we have bad luck, we have good luck. We always find our special parking spot at the front of the parking lot. And of course, they're the 3 words that she would always tell me when I got stressed out or down on myself. And she reassured me that life is good. And I think it was Ben Franklin who said, either write something worth reading or do something worth writing. But I think through applying all of her experiences, her leadership, her knowledge into this book and producing it, Jae managed to accomplish both. And so for that accomplishment, I commend you with such admiration for who you are as a professional, a person, a business owner, a mentor, a parent and friend, obviously, and for everything that you will pass on through your legacy, everything you pass on through this book. And while your success may not be normal, I think it's very well deserved. So thank you for who you are and the impact that you've had on us all. Now that I got that sappy bit out of the way. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Hoping that'll get me in good standing now. Brownie points. Okay, now that I got that sappy bit out of the way. My prediction was that by the time I was finished speaking, everyone would be tired of hearing me talk, and boy, did I call that one. So let's get somebody else up here. Our next guest, our first speaker, other than myself, is someone who's very well known in Oakville. She is an absolutely powerhouse of a businesswoman. Everything she seems to do turns into a success. So please welcome to the front of the room the CEO and founder of Blazing the Agency, Michelle Bailey.
Hi, Drew. Wow, is all I can say. You done good. One of my favorite gentlemen, Warren Buffett, said something that resonates very clearly with me. It's 4 words. Choose the right heroes. Choose the right heroes. Jae, you are my hero. I met Jae about 6-7 years ago. I met Jae because we joined the same B&I group, a place to help each other and others get leads. I was the president putting together 30 business people in Oakville. Jae showed up. And Jae just doesn't show up. You are so there. What can I do to help? What do you need me to do? I'm ready, I'm willing. And that was my introduction to this woman that I hadn't known till then, but you showed up. I belong to Women Presidents organization here in Canada. I'm actually one of the founders. That's for women who own significant sized businesses, and I see some of you here and I'm smiling at you. And Jae asked me about this organization, and I told her to show up, and she did, and she became a member. But she just didn't become a member. Jae went out of her way to help everyone and anyone who needs it, going over and above, helping whatever chapter and whatever woman needed help. Then I sit on the Oakville Hospital Foundation board. My God, there's Jae. Again. On a committee doing the hard work. We're doing the strategic work. Jae has wrapped up and put up your shoulder, and you're doing the work. You're doing the work and you're leading by example. I have only known Jae, for some of you, her dad, a lot less than you have ever known her. But for the 10 years I have known you, you have been my hero. And I look around the room, and everyone here is here because we chose the right hero. Here she is, and I'm privileged and honored to be called your friend. And I'm so proud of you, Jae. You have done it. Can I?
Let's hear it for Michelle. All right, for our next speaker, I want to introduce, how many of you have heard of a company called BIC? Yeah, it should be everyone's hands up, right? They do billions a year, a very big company. They're actually one of the sponsors of this book, which is amazing. Our next speaker is the regional sales manager for BIC in Canada. So he's kind of the face of the company in this entire country. He's been in the promotional marketing industry for about 25 years, worked very closely with Jae. We are honored to have him here tonight. So please, please, please put it together for Mr. Mark Wingrove.
Well, thanks, everybody. I'm sitting there standing and saying, I wonder who the poor sucker is that has to follow these two. Well, here he is. And Jay, here we are at beautiful Glen Abbey, and I want you to know that if my ball landed here today, right here, I played here 25 times, this would be the closest to the 18th that I would get. So thank you. I thank you for that. As William has mentioned, I'd known Jay for 25 years. She was one of my first calls when I was a young pen salesman. Someone here wondered, how do I sell pens all day? Well, it's hard, but someone has to do it, right? So, I love hearing the stories about Jay, because the thing that strikes me with Jay when I first met her is we go in there as a young salesperson and you have all these ideas, and it was kind of like the TV show. You walk in and you have all these ideas, and Jay says, okay, let's do it. It's like, well, we don't actually do it. These are the ideas. You know, it's like the commercial, right? So Jay, I always appreciate that. I had the privilege of sitting on some boards with Jay under her leadership on the Ontario Board for Promotional Products Professionals of Canada, and then, of course, on the national board. And Jay did me the honor of putting our pen on the front of the book. So that's what you'll see today, and you'll get one in your package, so thank you very much. And the book that Jay has given me today is not the first book she's given me. I have the first book here in my hand, and it's quite a short book, so I'm gonna read it to you. It's a great title. It says, "Thank You," and instead of putting Jay's name on it, she put my name on it. So thank you very much, Jay. It's only one page, and I'll see if my 48-year-old eyes, 48, you're supposed to laugh at that because it's 52. First, and this is from 07. Jay gave this to all her board members as she was leaving the board. And she asked me to say a few words, and I thought, these words are so Jay, what better words to describe than her own words. First, she put in a quote by Walt Disney. "You can dream, create, design, and build the most wonderful idea in the world, but it requires people to make the dream a reality," by Walt Disney. Then Jay writes, "What a dream, what a reality we created together this year. Experiencing your passion, enthusiasm, and commitment is truly inspiring," which is how I feel about you when I sit there and watch all the awards that you win year after year. I think, how does she do it? Just, you guys heard all the board involvement she's done and all the stuff she's done with her wonderful son over the years. I'm in awe of you, Jay. Then she goes on to say, "Experiencing your passion, enthusiasm, and commitment is truly inspiring. It's no wonder each chair in their gavel was reluctant to hand it over. I'm toasting in behalf of your imagination, applauding you daily to turn individual differences in harmonious programs and celebrating you, because of you. Thank you for your kindness and patience and allowing me the distinct privilege of being a part of your chair. It's been my pleasure. Best wishes," and here, you said it before, equilibrium. She used the word right there, equilibrium always. So Jay, and apparently my dog really enjoyed the book too, because as you can see, every corner is bitten off. Exactly. So Jay, I haven't written in it yet, but I will. So it just kind of shows the power of promotional products. She gave this to me in 2007. If you give someone something with their name on it, they won't throw it away, right? So I congratulate you on your success in your book launch. It's nice to see everybody here today, and thank you very much.
Our next guest is somebody who you will see has an absolute heart of gold, somebody I'm proud to be able to call a friend of mine, and always has a smile on my face. She's super genuine, but don't let that fool you. She has got the drive and determination of a tiger. She absolutely is a go-getter, and she has, at a very young age, become an international businesswoman. So please welcome to the front of the room, international businesswoman and published author, Marnie Kay.
William, holy cow, you did amazing tonight. I want to, first of all, Jay, thank you for asking me to speak today. I really feel honored. So I want to tell a little bit of a story about when I first met Jay and how we've become the great friends that we are today, which was actually about 9 months ago. We met at one of Bob Proctor's courses called The Matrix, where she happened to be one of the experts in the room. Every time Bob hosts this event, which people fly in all over the world to come and hear, Jay will be there as an expert representing her brand and her company and what she does. And I was a bit of a newbie in the room, like, starstruck. There's all these people in here who have done all these amazing things. And we got an option at the end of the experts' talks to be able to choose who we wanted to sit down with. For the life of me, I can't tell you why I chose Jay. other than the fact something said you need to sit down with this woman. I wasn't really paying attention so much to what people were doing. And William, I think you so eloquently said it earlier. If I was to put a word to it today, I would say it was passion. That was the reason I sat down with this woman, and that was the reason that we've become the friends that we are today. At the time, she didn't know that she was taking on a bit of a basket case who was about to put out her own book, which was me, and she guided me through the process, not from the process standpoint of actually publishing the book, but from the point of being a mentor, someone who could guide me, calm me down. And for those of you who have ever written a book, you know that writing a book is actually the easy part. Actually getting it published is the tough part. But she was there for me every step of the way and kicked me in the bum a few times if I needed to get moving. And I'm so fortunate to say that I was able to offer some of that, a very small part of that back in her process of publishing her own book. Everything that William said, I watched from first person with what she put into this book, not just writing it, but in making sure that every detail was perfect. And William, you said it a few times, it truly wasn't for her. And that's where I think the passion comes from. She works tirelessly to make sure that everyone around her has such an incredible, memorable experience that's the reason why she does what she does. And this book was just one small part of that. But she did an absolutely incredible job, and I'm fortunate to say that I was the first person to see it on Amazon by accident. But it's such a huge accomplishment. It truly is, and I know it's going to be the first of many, many accomplishments for Jae, and it certainly isn't the last. And I know that this is one part of what she has to offer the world, and I think that I'm really excited to read it, Jae. I know you put your heart into it, and I'm excited to see what's coming for you next because, like I said, I really think this is just the beginning for you. So I am so proud to call you a friend of mine and to have watched you go through this process, and I look forward to watching the rest. Thank you for having me.
Well, other than when I started, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. So she is the reason we're all here tonight, while we're all gathered here. And she's had a tremendous impact on all of us. So I'll try not to stall any longer. She is the past chair of the Promotional Product Professionals of Canada, the PPPC. She is the chair of the industry's scholarship program, a Hall of Fame inductee, and only the 4th women to ever have been inducted, I may add, and has won numerous image awards. Most importantly, she's my mom, and actually says that on the book, so I'm no bias. And now we can add published author to her bio. So without any further ado, please welcome Miss Jae Rang.
I think I want to hire William as my PR guy now. Pretty amazing.
Not getting paid?
In golf, he gets paid in golf. As I was writing the book, this is exactly what I envisioned. This was what kept me going, was this room. I absolutely love Glen Abbey. I mean, it's a spectacular setting. I've had many meetings here, but it's just a magical place. And of course, I ordered the weather. The ambiance of the room is just magnificent, and you put the right people in the room, and it is magical, isn't it? This is what I envisioned. This is exactly it, is the colors and the people who that I work closely with and I care about and who care about me and have supported me for many years. This was the part that I really looked forward to. So I just, first of all, I know William has already said thank you and recognized you, but I want to say thank you as well for being here. I really appreciate it. And William, I did not wear waterproof mascara, so that was not fair. But thank you for that tribute. I really appreciate it. It's true, I do see the industry differently, as most people have. A lot of people look at the industry, and Ed, my editor, actually came up with a term that he said, our industry is often trivialized. and it's not taken seriously as media. And I agree with that, and I thought that that was really well put when he was helping me rewrite some of the tricky parts to make it understandable. And I see this media as sensory media. I don't see it as product that you stick logos on and give away. The reason being, and here's my studies with Bob Proctor that, over the years, and the awareness that happened is that as sensory beings, we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We're sensory beings that when you interact with a media that actually you can hug and eat and smell and involve your senses in, it's much more than, looking at a billboard or getting a YouTube ad. It's the real thing. So when you get, it's a very human media, when you get people who are sensory beings and you put a product in their hand with a message on it, you want to be really careful and clear about what that message is, because this is your brand talking when you're not there. So that's what we help people do. We help people walk through that process of being really clear of who their brand is and who it is that they're speaking to, what messages they want to convey, and then we help them put these tangible talking tools in the hands of their customers. And we create impact doing that. So I love the concept of the sensory media. I've been sharing it with university students and with the business community for quite some time, as well as a number of customers. And I always appreciated the ones who allowed us to kind of jump in from a creative standpoint and really do something a little different and understood the power of the media. So it was fun doing those creative projects. So as I spoke to these different groups, what I was getting the feedback, and as Marnie said, people were saying to me, I've never heard your media positioned the way you do. Maybe we need to take another look at it. So with Gabriella's encouragement, and William, my cheerleader, and my mom, my creative inspiration, the book came together. And I said, I need to tell this story. I need to help people understand the power of this media. And oftentimes I start my presentations with chocolate. Who are the chocolate lovers in the room? Yeah, chocolate lover. Marianne. I know you're a chocolate lover. Here you are. There's 3 beautiful bars in there for you.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, did you hear what Marianne said when I gave her my advertising?
Ooh,
She said, thank you. So, okay, so when was the last time? Yeah. When was the last time you thanked YouTube for that ad, right? Yeah. So that's the point of the media, is that it's very impactful because we are involving all the senses.
And I
know.
think about you every time I put it in my
That's
mouth.
right. Marianne's going to have such a sensory experience with that chocolate. We've had the interaction. We've started my relationship, started to build my relationship by giving her a gift. She has the fun of opening it, of smelling it, of tasting it, and I know Marianne's going to remember the chocolate. It's like our teddy bears when we were younger. Our teddy bears were probably one of the first sensory experiences that we had. You remember your teddy? Do you remember your teddy when you were little? That was the one that you carried around and you talked to, and just probably thinking about that teddy has your emotions going about what that meant to you when you were little, right? We had sock monkeys. Remember, Barb? We had Fred. We had sock monkeys that we carried around, and they were super special to us. But just like the teddy, the sensory tool. So that's what the book is about. I really hope you enjoy it. I look so forward to your feedback, and thank you very, very much to my family, to my friends, to my colleagues for being here. I appreciate so much all of your support. I am so grateful to our sponsors who sponsored the book, and they did it completely sight unseen. I mean, they had no idea what I was putting together. Mark jumped on board in a heartbeat, couldn't believe it. And I'm thinking to myself, BIC, which is like a $20 billion organization worldwide, I think they employ like 10,000 people. And I'm saying BIC is sponsoring my book. It's like, I've made it, right? So a couple of my... So we designed the Bic pen on the front. The cover was actually designed with the Bic Click, which is one of my favorite pens. And as William said, there's one in the package there. Faro Industries, who I've known them for probably 25 years as well. They do custom castings. They're out of Montreal. They did the bookmarks for us that look like the cover. Chocolate out of Seattle did our chocolate, and it's probably the best chocolate that you will have. It's absolutely delicious. And Debco bag. Debco started his business at the time I started mine, so we've been friends and built our businesses together. Now he has 220 people, and I don't, but But he's still a great partner, a great creative partner, and I'm very appreciative of him doing our bags for us as well. So, so thank you again to our sponsor. Thank you all for being here. I am so touched. I am so thankful. And I'm going to bring William back up here so he can get our toast going. Thank you. Thank you, William.
Yeah, I think it would be only appropriate for us to give a toast to Jae. And to do so, I want to bring up Jae's dad, my grandpa, Fred. Do you want me to stay up here? Do you want me to stay up here?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah? Can I have a drink?
Yeah. Is this yours?
Yeah, I want to participate in this. All right.
Give me something.
Well, contrary to all the others, I've known her all my life. And Jae's always been very special. When she went to school, if there was a cheerleading team, she was part of it. If there was a theater group, she was part of it. Later on, she got into skating. She became a professional skater. She traveled North America with the Ice Follies. She came back and joined Revlon, became salesperson #1 at Revlon. She learned to fly and got her pilot's license before she had her driver's license. One day she shows up in the office, she says, "I've registered a company, I'm going on my own." I wasn't surprised. And I'm not surprised that she wrote a book. And I'm not surprised that she's going to be coming with other things. But to make it short, I'd like to propose a toast to Jae and her success.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you, Chris.
As Roy Watcher used to say, may the good Lord take a liking to you.
Anything else you want to say? Or?
No, you can just close it off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that concludes the speaking portion of this event, but the party is far from over. I would like to, open up the room and encourage y'all to mingle. Make sure you sign the invitation, please, before you leave. Get your book pack. We're going to do the draw, so best of luck to you. And I guess the last thing is, thank y'all for coming. Obviously, congratulations to Jae on the book, and I hope y'all have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.